Each of these factions has a multitude of little parts to them. So we have a little package inside the larger package here of city markers or territory markers. Another one that includes tech markers. And then finally we have our military markers. So what I need to do first of all is set up my city. So if I'm the green player and I'm sitting at this part of the game board, I'm going to take my capital city marker, which is very tall, looks like a skyscraper, and place it dead center on the star. Now, before we get too much further along, let's take a look at the city tile here that I have in my hand. And you can see that each tile has been broken down, even the regular ones, into 7 different locations. The center is always a hex, and the 6 that circle the hex are circles. They're called zones. All of those are zones. And so each of the hex tiles, the big tiles, has 7 zones upon it. All right, now the city zones or city hexes are specially adapted to already have some of the materials that you're going to need, some of the improvements that you're going to need later on. So first of all, we have the location for the city itself. That'll go on the hex. Up on the north here, on the top side, we have a gray circle. That stands for a mine. The little marker above it I'll tell you about in a minute. This one is black, which means you have oil. We have a brown one, which stands for a factory, and a gold one or a yellow one, which stands for farming. So we have food. Okay, so automatically each of the 3 entities, the three empires, are going to receive one of each type of resource during the rounds. The other 2 have white backgrounds, and so our initial population here of 6 has 2 unemployed population units, which we're going to employ here shortly. Okay, so first of all, we need to populate the city. So we're going to do that by placing one of the gold population markers right on the city center. The gold population marker stands for 5, and the city marker stands for 1. All the city markers stand for 1 here. So there's 3 different types of city markers. So first of all, we have the capital city marker. This is a smaller city marker. We have a suburb, which is smaller yet. And then finally we have a control marker, which doesn't have anything on it. It's just a slab, a hexagonic slab. Okay, so what we're going to do, and these are stackable, is go ahead and stack this on top. So this city right now has a population of 6, 5 represented by the gold population counter and 1 represented by the city counter. Okay, now it has a population of 6, but the only population that are employed at the moment are from the buying, from the oil, from factories, and from farms. The other 2 are unemployed, and so what we're going to do is take out 2 prospecting tokens. They have a little hammer and some gold on them, and we're just going to place them inside of this tile. It doesn't really matter where you place them. It doesn't matter if it's directly on those white spots or not. By the way, the other symbols that are on here keep track of victory points. What we're trying to do is the first group to place all of its victory monuments ends the game. They don't necessarily win the game, but they do end the game. And there are 4 of them. So they look like this. Little victory monuments. They're hexagonal and about a centimeter tall. Alright, so what we do is we take a look at the 6 little symbols that go on here. And first of all, we have a heart. If you build a wonder, you get to place one of those markers on the wonder. Notice that there's only a spot for one of them, so you can build more than one wonder, but you can only place one of the monuments on the tile, that monument. If you have 100 coin or more at the end of a cycle, you're going to place a marker here on the coins. If you complete a scientific track, and we'll cover that later, you'll go ahead and place one there. If you attack another character or another empire, so it could be an indigenous group or it could be just another empire all by itself, and win, you get to place one there. Once you reach one of your cities has a population of 11 or higher, you get to place a monument here. And if you get enough culture points, you can place one here. Once you place all 4 of those markers, then the game is over and you tally up what the final score is.